Oh boy, we're back at part one. We're right back to it. Oh, that was embarrassing. Oh boy. Okay, let me properly send this. Got to rechange it. I'm still learning about this stuff, so I'm still messing up. I'm going through and adjusting things. Oh, it's never easy, you know. Never easy. Hey, Bug. Good to see you. Uh, I don't actually know what happened. It just sort of went all black. So I'm assuming that there's some kind of time limit there. I gotta rename this to something else probably later. Like my eyes are all twitching because it's still like recalibrating. I wasn't even paying attention. So that's funny. Oh, you can also connect your mobile camera to your computer. I'm using it. I'm doing this from my tablet already, so that's kind of. I think it's just like not really a thing that I was prepared for. I don't know what the issue is. I'll figure it out though. I'm just glad I got like 45 minutes going in there. That was pretty good. And you know what? I'm glad it's just a little test run. Let me just inform people that I had to restart. Ugh. No, if that happens again, I'll just like keep the stream and start. And the next one I do, I'll do more prep. Maybe it's because it is on 50%. Maybe my battery's just low. Or maybe just, I don't know. But I'm not complaining too much. Like I can't stress too much about it. At least I got it working with the tablet. I mean, it does suck because I had at least five people on now. They're probably like, "Oh, what happened?" It's just like, technology hates me. It hates me as much as Victoria hates Tinker Tech. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rename this. Actually, can I rename it and post? I guess I could. I'll just make it like, oh, part two. If I learn video editing, maybe I'll learn how to splice it together. That'd be pretty funny. Just random like black middle in the part and be like, everything's normal. It cuts to this point like everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Okay, what was I? Where was I? We got five people on here. That's good enough to start over. So, where was I? Yes, Captain America is strong. He's cool. He's fast. He's smart. But he's not exactly special. He's tough, but he's not the toughest. He's not going to be like Hulk knocking down buildings or Spider-Man doing pretty much anything that Spider-Man does. It's like like you pull up a random feed of Spider-Man where he's like holding up that church tower, or if he's like holding those two halves of his ship together for a brief amount of time. Even with help, Captain America could not replicate it. Like he's just not that kind of superhuman. He's a superhuman where like you could if you were a physically adept martial artist like the Leaper or those Hydra agents were, you could never win, but you could like slow him down enough that you could like let your boss, if you really liked your boss, to escape. Like you better have a good dental plan because you're gonna have your world rocked when your teeth are flying out. But hey, you could do it. You could hold him back. And where was I? Okay, so from there, I think like I covered Captain America in the first, and sorry for anyone who's like new to this and like looking like what's going on, like what's happening here. I just want you to know that I was doing a prior stream. I covered all of Captain America stuff, and after there was some technical difficulties, so I had to start a stream again, and it wouldn't let me start the old one. So basically, Cap is cool. He's just not the peak of superhuman performance in Marvel anymore. So what about John Stiles? John Stiles is from the web serial Pale. It's a basically urban fantasy setting. And John is an interesting creature because he is called a dog of war or a dog tag or a sword, which is, and this is kind of spoilers for anyone who has not read Pale yet or has wants to read Pale yet. I'll try to keep it very broad, but this gets into spoiler stuff. So, I'm just giving you like side eye. Do you want to spoil this? Do you want to spoil this? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's only like me and you and chat bug. So I just, if anyone wants to commit to this later, that's on them. That's on them. Let me see. I'm probably getting cons being like, "Awesome, Riton, what happened? Awesome, Riton, what happened?" Hmm. Yeah, that's cringe. Cringe. I am unafraid. Okay, bug. I'll take your word for it. I think you can handle it. Eyes need to stop freaking out. I get it. I'm looking somewhere else. I get it. Okay, so like I was saying, John Stiles, he is born from the incarnation or forces of war. He is basically what happens when a bunch of soldiers die, mass casualties, like nameless, like usually like massive massacres or explosions. Like they form together into this gestalt being known as dog tags or dogs of war, swords, etc. I'm just gonna call them dog tags because it's easier to say. So the thing with John is that he's a super human, but he's a very different type of superhuman compared to Cap. He's not like if you fought him, he wouldn't be like super strong, like in hand to hand. Like you would probably be like feel like, oh my God, this guy's like working out and he's strong, but you wouldn't think like he was like inhuman strong. But that's not really where his strengths lie, because like he doesn't get tired. When I say Captain America doesn't get tired, I mean that Captain America could like run 10-mile marathons and be like, oh, I just need some water real quick. John doesn't need to feel like any of that. He could do that, and he may not be as fast as Cap. He may not beat his record, but he would just keep going. He'd make turn that 10 mile to 20 miles to 30 to 40. Like he would keep on trucking. He's the kind of guy that would like just nonstop keep it up. Uh, like if you wanted to really compare it, I don't want to say like he's like Deadpool in terms of like he's never tired or whatever, but he's up there in the sense that he's Deadpool in that his body just repairs itself. So like if you shot him in the chest or arm or stabbed him in the neck, like he would take the knife out as he's shooting you to death. Like he would just not care. The bullet wound's gone. Like he would just keep walking. There's a point in the book where he's fighting a bunch of other soldiers and they're unloading him and he's like getting shot, like filled with holes, and he's holding on to another soldier, shooting that soldier and shooting at the soldier's friend. Keep on walking. Like, it took a lot of gunfire for him to fall, and that's just because like he's in a human body still. So if you take out his legs, he'll still have to fall to the ground and obey gravity. But it would just be like not really of an issue because then his legs would heal and he'd get back up again. Now he does have he's not like unlimited power. Like he's not like walking in and like he won't feel like any strain. He does feel pain. He does feel fatigue in the sense that sort of mental strain. I don't even want to say mental strain. It's more like emotional because he's just dogged down from he's bogged down from being in war so often that he doesn't want to be like this. So that's kind of his issue. But you know what? I'm saving the weaknesses later. Right now, what you should know about him is that he's not like superhuman fast or strong, but he has superhuman attributes in that his healing is insane. Like at one point, he gets shot in the head multiple times, and while it takes him like maybe a minute or so each time to heal, he does heal fast. And he's just like his own reaction is like, "Fuck, that sucks." He's not gonna like give up the fight. Oh, hey June. Could John Stiles use ideological or emotional methods to defeat the Captain America the Immortal? Downward dog. Victoria would be a dog tag, wouldn't she? She's the culmination of all unnamed capes dying. I'm sorry, June. I got distracted by bug. Blame bug. Could John Snow use ideological or emotional methods to defeat the Captain America the Immortals? If you mean like if John was like in a debate with Captain America, then he'd be like, "Yo, your country's kind of fucked up," and what Cap would all have to be say is like, "Yeah, yeah," like it's like Captain America's big character journey in Winter Soldier and sort of in Civil War was realizing that he's kind of too idealistic for a real world to accept an active combat. No, well, I mean, yeah, but it's not really effective in terms of combat because like he's trying not to die. Like, I'm trying to imagine like I'm thinking like when Iron Man tried to, it was in between blows, but he was also trying to protect Bucky from being killed. So it's not really going to affect him like in a sense like oh he'll stop and like oh just shoot me. He'll be like no you totally have a valid point like I totally agree with you 100%. But we still gotta like beat the shit out of each other because you got a gun and you're trying to shoot me. So like we gotta handle that first, and then dude, I'll totally like buy. Yeah, you totally gotta. I'll totally buy you a beer or something. Do you drink beer? Like, because like so I mentioned before that Captain America can't get drunk. Neither can John. So they don't really feel. At one point, a week, like a week. Okay, I'm really losing context here. John is probably the peak of dog tags we ever see in the story. There are other dog tags out there that are much weaker than John is because John gets, well, all dog tags get strength from people they kill, and they choose to kill. I'm sorry. Hey, Bug. Okay, okay, let's contest this, Captain America. Let's contest this. Tell me what to use until you're. I mean, Captain America was there in the World War II. He probably knows enough about internment camps and stuff like that. His issue is a lot. I think even Nick Fury is like, hey, your greatest generation sucks, right? And he's like, yeah, we know. And I'm like, I don't like it either. And he's Captain America is very practical in the sense that he's like, yeah, America kind of fucking sucks a lot of the time. But the whole point of me is being like, I want to improve America. John is like more like all human. Like war is forever. War sucks. It doesn't matter what nation you occupy. Like I just want to sleep. I just want to fucking sleep. I want to not. I don't want to work. I'll take a 9 to 5 over war. He's just. But I don't want to get into too much spoilers about his characterization, but like I was saying, the point is that dog tags go stronger the more people they kill. War never changes. Exactly, war never changes. And so dog tags get stronger the more you kill, and a lot of dog tags we see in the story, just tend like they're strong and they have superhuman attributes, but they aren't as good as John. Like the one character who matches John in terms of like pure power is a guy named Horseman, who is literally the archetype of so a super soldier like Captain America, which is kind of fitting. But John's archetype when he was created was not to be like purely a super soldier or whatever. He just got that way from killing so many people and gaining all their skills and abilities. Well, I say that, but it's kind of more specific. When dog tags kill people, they can choose what part of a person they kill. They have to make it like a bullet to the head or heart, and they have to purposely aim for something from that person. So, like, if John hypothetically killed a practitioner who had supervision from his magic, he could take aspects from that practitioner that they had and give himself like night vision or ability to see through fog or like able to see far distances. John's out here playing Game Boy Advance. Yeah, he was. He's a gamer. He's a gamer. He's a gamer. Gamer. Oh, by the way, hi Golden Motive. Nice to see you. I'm sorry if you missed the first half of the stream. It's probably on my channel. Uh, it covered a lot more of Captain America. This is kind of mostly John. If I knew how to edit them together, I would splice them together into one like video, and then I'd put it out there. But anyways, Captain America would lose on Link Cable Bat. Oh, Link Cable Bats. Oh, God, that brings me back. Kids these days don't know how good they are. Except on my channel. I wonder if I can download that stream, and then once I'm done with this stream, I can splice them together. And then I could be like making one official YouTube. Because I think that's what streamers do, right? They get someone in to edit their streams down into, I don't know. That's future talk. Speaking of future talk, John has a lot of enhanced senses. So John can feel when people are spying on him. For example, there's a moment where one of the protagonists, the Pale, is watching John from the woods as he's just doing his like normal routines, pacing around his house, and John just stops in front of the window, like waits for a moment, like looks out at into the woods and spots the one of the main protagonists like within a few seconds. And the main protagonist wasn't just spying on him in the woods and foliage. She had like put on like a connection, this thing called a connection block, which blocks people's thoughts from noticing people. So it's like kind of like an imp power, imp from Worm for those who somehow haven't read Worm yet. Fake fan. It allows you to like that sort of power just like alters your mind so you don't think about something or a person. And that one of the protagonists had that connection block set up so that John wouldn't notice. And John was like, someone's watching me. And he he immediately zeroed in on them. Oh, imp jar, 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 bug, bad bug. But yeah, so there's that, and then there's a moment where a bunch of people are spying on John and his friends, and John is like, "It's too quiet, too quiet." And he's like, he can immediately sense that people are watching him at all times. Like Hugh can't spy on John. John will know immediately where you are and how long you've been watching him. And he's fast. Like I said, like he's not super fast, but like he's still faster than the average human would ever be, and he doesn't leave tracks. Like that person I mentioned, the protagonist who was watching him, she tried to teleport away basically, and she did it for like a good, I'm gonna say like maybe 5 minutes, of like teleporting within the forest, ducking behind trees and stuff. And she rests for like another 5 minutes to bandage herself because she trips. And he's sorry, I'm just coughing. And he's immediately behind her. He's like, "Hey, want to talk about why you were spying on me?" And he's just like casually caught up to her, not even breathing hard. And she looked, and he didn't leave any tracks through the woods. He was like, there's literally no boot prints. And when he leaves later, and she watches him go, she notices that he's not leaving boot prints. He's literally a ghost. And so that's one thing. Like he's like, it's impossible for him to be spied on. He doesn't get tired. Like literally impossible for him to get tired physically. You can't you can't kill him. That's the thing that I should really reiterate here. If you do any damage to him, he just heals it back. Or if you like blow him up, he'll come back. Like it might take a day, but if you like he puts enough power in, he can just like reform himself. And it hurts like a motherfucker, but he'll do it. Draws a circle around. Okay, Musser. Okay, we'll get into that in a little bit. All right, we still got some bits to go for. So other skills he has. He's good with every weapon. He does good with arrows, bows, knives, rifles, pistols. He has the magical ability to find any like gun. Like it seems like guns just randomly spawn around him. Like guns, bullets, grenades. He can make grenades. Continues on. That's right, June. That's right, June. But yeah, like he can just magically find these or spawn them out in the area where he'll be like, oh, guns, and he can find guns like where he goes. He has this innate sense for violence. So like if someone has violent intent and he's like searching for someone, he can sense an area and be like find like the general vibe of that person. Like there's a point where he's someone has entered his town and he's doing like a patrol and he's like this feels off. Hmm. And he's like starts doing like little sensing vibes, and he does need get help from the protagonist to help track it down. But he says that he could have found it eventually, but he'd be moving slower because he wouldn't be able to pinpoint it exactly. So he's good at that. He has supernatural aiming, supernatural like basically any kind of like he's basically like one of those action movie stars that can do improbable shooting like John Wick. Excuse me. And he just like I don't think he ever misses once in the series. So he's just that good. I'm trying to think. So he's killed a lot of practitioners. Practitioners are those who use magic in the setting, specifically humans who use magic in this setting. They're kind of like just wizards, but wizards kind of an outdated term. And he's killed a lot of them and gained a lot of their knowledge and attributes of magic. So for what instance, like he can see in the dark, he can what is he? He would break the power, and even if he's not that good, the spirits would pull a bullet sword on him. Exactly, yeah. So they like he's just empowered by war. Like war, like keeps giving him like at one point, like he talks about like he needs more power. Okay, so he's fighting this much stronger opponent, like as in like maybe 4 level opponent, and he can't do anything to harm this opponent. He's firing all his guns. He's going hand to hand, knife, and he's losing. And he's like, "Fuck this!" And he's like pulls on. He has the dog tags of his friends, and he can pull on that power to empower like his bullet. And he shoots it, and he makes this person who can like rip steel cables to pieces with their hands stumble. Like it doesn't kill them, but he can empower his bullets enough to the point that it could make those types of opponents stumble from it. What was it? So he can do that with his knives too. So if you can't cut through someone, he can just do that with his knives and make it like leave a cut that can pierce their skin or leave lasting damage if they regenerate to an extent. He also uses it to empower his healing. So like one time he has his spine crushed and ripped in half, and he's like grabs onto his uh dog tags when he's just able to gain his arm movement. He's like, "Give me power," and they give him enough power to regenerate super fast. With The comic would still probably hurt the Captain America. Oh yeah, we covered that in the first stream about his suit, and in case he doesn't block, because Captain America is good at blocking bullets. Like we joke about how like no one shoots right his legs and stuff, but he actually is pretty good at dodging at blocking bullets, and his suit is probably bullet resistant. It'd probably need a high powered round or empowered to do damage. What was I saying? Yes. So did I cover everything? John just has a general knowledge of magic and stuff. He knows how to draw lines and how to sense barriers and stuff, but that's not really applicable to this fight specifically. He knows, like instinctively, the type of person a fighter they are just by looking at them and getting a sense of them. So he probably have that measure. Uh, Weaknesses, I think, is probably the best right now because I think we covered everything for John. Uh, John is, it's hard to say because he's a magical creature. He's not human in that sense. Like it's kind of messed up to say, but he has like things that the setting doesn't, the rules of the setting don't let him have the same freedoms that humans do. So like June mentioned that he could be like sealed in a circle, which is technically true. You can bind him as a magical creature in a circle, except he's so strong that you'd need someone on the level of Abraham Musser, and Musser is on entire like I don't want it. I can't get into it yet because I'm doing his power scaling thread right now, as some of you might know. But Abraham Musser is Golden Moses said, not that high. Right, right. Sorry. Golden molded. My bad. Didn't mean to offend you, June. Uh, if you use, well, I mean, there's that too, but also the circle still needs power. It still needs power. So, anyways, what I was saying, yeah. So Abraham Musser drew a circle around John to bind him, and the thing with most bindings is that you still need to power them by yourself. You can't just like draw a circle and then it'll do the work for you. It still needs power to combat. And John is so strong that when it was suggested they try that, like a protagonist could try that, the guy that told him about it was like, do not do that. It will end badly. He's too strong. He's got the power of the Afghanistan conflict, like literally give yeah. Oh, which by the way, yeah, he comes back. It's implied that he's born from the Afghanistan conflict. So yikes, that's a lot of war. So the when it was asked about and recommended, he's like, no, don't do it. It's not a good idea. He'll break out. But he needed someone as strong as Abraham Musser, who, frankly, could wipe the floor with Captain America and John at the same time. That's the level of power that we're talking about. And it took that. What else? So he can be bound by a significantly stronger opponent. He can similarly you can draw a line and block his advancement, but he'll just shoot the line. So it's kind of like it's not that effective. It's good at slowing him down, but he'll still just like if you draw a line in dirt, he'll just use bullets to shoot the dirt. Trying to think of what other weaknesses. He does his regen can still like I mentioned before, he still feels pain, just not as much as not in the same way the human does. But like even though the wounds heal instantly, and he can still fight even with wounds that are still healing. It can still slow him down if you like break a leg and like he has to spend energy to heal that leg up. It wouldn't be like crippling or anything like that, but it would be enough to like maybe give you an advantage to escape or try something else. Whatever. The thing with him is that he doesn't have a lot of the same magical weaknesses as most others we see. He doesn't get affected by water. He's not really weak against fire or stuff, other than like the average human would feel fire. Which actually he feels fire less because he has uh, one of his buddy's dog tags allows him to be resistant against flames. So if you tried setting him on fire, he'd probably just brush it off and, and come kick your ass for that. So that kind of weakness, I guess he's just like I said before, he's not super humanly strong in the sense that like if Captain America punted that car and with enough like 3 tons of force, John would just punt that car with super strong, like muscular guy strength. He's even less vulnerable than most incarnate type others because he's most things like a person. Yes, yes. He's very. He's. I guess one advantage of being a dog tag compared to like a fae or a goblin is that you're like straddling the line between human and incarnation because you've got that human brain and stuff like that. So I'm trying to think of a can of beans. Okay, yes, there is a. So there's a moment in the story where John is hyper paranoid and he creates a bomb out of a can of beans that he has. He empties it out of beans, throws in a bunch of nails and stuff, and puts it on a fire. And he's like, if you guys had actually been enemies and you guys somehow got the advantage over me, that bomb would have gone off and it would have killed everyone except for me." Goblin, I guess I kind of expected that. Thanks a lot, Sebastian. Thanks a lot. I'm just kidding. If Captain America can pull a trick, there's a lot on it. I don't know. He's got. He doesn't really. John doesn't really mind about goblin tricks, so I don't think he'll mind that much. Oh, I guess he does get harmed a lot by empowered weapons. So like holy weapons, like he gets shot by a holy bullet, uh, blessed by like the spirits of dead soldiers, and it puts him on his ass. Like he doesn't die, but it puts him down so bad that they need to like dig into his guts and rip out the bullet to so he can heal. What Curry right now they're fighting? What if they can slime America's ass and the Canadian underwear model? No, it wouldn't work because John is actually canonically terrible at romance. He can't even do a fling. Captain America, it would just be too much for him. It just wouldn't work. What was I saying? So yes, empowered weapons. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, June's got it. June's got it. Captain America would be an advantage in terms of romance and sexual tension. I didn't think I would have to go into this topic, but I guess here we are. Uh, what was I saying? Oh, yes, empowered weapons, holy bullets, and abyssal weapons. Like say, the abyss is like this toxic. Oh, I guess toxic is technically correct. Toxic, harmful realm of the universe that you can empower weapons or your body or whatever. And if you hit some of it, it can stain them and like make healing harder or poison them or do even worse things. So he gets hit by it. I think it's implied he gets hit by an abyssal weapon. He mentions that it takes a long time for him to heal it. It's not as bad as the holy bullet. So that's really John's weaknesses there. He's kind of like, I guess the best way to say it is he's John Wick, like in terms of like physicals with like superhuman aiming and bags of tricks in terms of healing and figuring things out. So that's John. But what does it mean for him to be like for him to be fighting? This is where it gets a little complicated because like we're not exact like Captain America. They're two very different types of fighters here. Captain America is like a superhero still. Like he's a soldier and he's got like a tactical mind, but he's gonna rush in and try to fight John. So most likely, if like it's in a small town sort of deal, like Captain's dropped in to handle this weird guy that detains several Shield operatives who've been poking around Kenneth, and John's the only one there that can handle him. So like John could probably like get a few shots off and like at first and not and hit knock Steve down. Probably like really bruise him with that armor. But Steve would be like on him, like on him. And John does have the benefit of being like Black Widow to your like work better than Black Widow at being stealthy. Like he will leave no trace or anything. But Captain America is so fucking fast. Like, I was saying that he wasn't like superhuman speed Flash guy, but he's still fast enough that he can like leap up to building faces and probably catch up to John. Maybe I'll say maybe because even if he does, John probably has booby trapped the area. It's gonna be a bit difficult because I think obviously in a hand to hand combat situation where like White Room, no guns, no shield, Captain America is just gonna obviously like body him. Like and John's tough. John got slammed through walls, dropped off like 30 like three-story buildings, exploded, set on fire, and he still got up and still went at it. And like that's probably gonna be like how much prep time do they all have? Does Captain know John is? I'm gonna say they don't know exactly what each other is. So just to keep that even, but I'm kind of going this off the handle. I'm sorry. It's a little. This is kind of like a test stream for me. Meaning, stop trying to make them kiss. Making them kiss isn't gonna happen. Stop trying to make them kiss. No. So what I'm imagining is that Shield investigates Kenneth, and John is like taking out these Shield agents and like not killing them, but like kicking their asses, humiliating them, and like setting them out because he's been told, hey, don't kill people anymore, and he's like, I'm down with that. So they send Cap in, and Cap's like, probably, I guess he wouldn't. I don't, because then we got to deal with people, and it gets too complicated. So I'd say that Cap is like generally has the idea of where John patrols. John probably notices like the can Captain America take advantage of reverse cosmology? He's got a lot of symbolic weight behind him, even if he only starts building common spirit defense once drives. I guess. I mean, it's tough because like you don't want to be make it too unfair. Like if it's because like there's a charm in trying to combine the settings in that sort of way, but there's also like a charm in okay, well, universe A, universe B, how do they like collide when they don't exactly mix? Is or maybe is Captain America innocent enough to have protection from some of the more esoteric shenanigans? Well, no, because you can't intentionally affect you, so it's as prone to horror as help him. Okay, well, okay, let's cover this one thing. So is Captain America innocent? No, he knows gods or quote unquote gods exist. He knows aliens exist. He knows magic exists. He's not going to be innocent, even if discounting Otherverse. He's going to know it's out there. Yeah, he knows God. He goes to brunch with God. He knows he exists, or even if he doesn't like consider them to be real gods, like advanced alien things or magical beings that happen to call themselves gods. He's gonna know magic and weirder things exist. So he's not gonna be innocent regardless of the setting. What was the other one? Symbolic weight. So I think that's pretty fair to say that he comes in with I think he comes in to like if he goes into Kennett and he's like gotten some data on hey, there's this guy that's like kicking our asses. We need you to take him out. This is what we can gather from released agents. John's gonna know that they're spying on Kennett because he can feel the drones and stuff literally tracking them, and which is his benefit. He knows something's gonna happen because he can feel it in the spirits of war. So he dropped. So I'm excuse me. Mm. So I'm assuming they drop Cap down to like John's house or his neighborhood, and he's going by like as Captain America is the new incarnation of patriotism. Oh, he's gonna have a few rough moments in recent years. It's not gonna be good. Infinite power. And I think it's the opposite. I think it's gonna. He's if he is the incarnation of patriotism, he's gonna have some rough years with all the disgruntlement when it comes to nations recently, or not even recently, but over time. What was this? But yeah, okay. So Cap would probably be dropped off in John's neighborhood. Vague idea of this badass wet works guy. Probably has no idea who Cap is, but he's probably set up booby traps around the house. He's probably watching from the woods, and he knows like drones and stuff are watching. And as soon as he sees Captain America, he's gonna be like, "Holy shit!" Like he's gonna be like, "This guy is a fucking bona fide super soldier." And to be clear, super soldiers are not unique in the universe. We actually see several types of super soldiers in the story that they aren't exactly the same origin style of Cap because everything in Otherverse is magical. So it's not like oh genetic super science. There's not to spoil another plot point, but there's a character who basically undergoes super soldier serum transformation using magic. But it's like instead of serum, I'm talking torment nexus. I'm talking but literally fighting alternate versions of herself until the strongest one of her survives and comes out on top. Who's like literally like it's probably the closest we get to like an MCU super soldier. And there's other humans who have enhanced superhuman abilities thanks to magic. So John's not going to be like, well, I've never seen a human like this, or he's going to be like, oh, this is some kind of aware or very human other that's, or someone or human that's on the edge of becoming other. That's sort of like, and he can sense the war coming off of Captain America because his war senses would be detecting the violence, the experience, like it, Cap and Cap doesn't have as good sensory abilities, so he'll probably just investigate the house. Probably not be really that harmed from the from any of the booby traps because Captain America consistently has good reaction time to booby traps, explosions, and whatnot. Like even when he's like in the middle of a conversation with Black Widow and the Leaper throws in like a grenade, he like looks at it and like grabs Black Widow and hauls him behind the shield and behind the counter. He's not gonna like the moment that he steps in the house, he's gonna be wary, he's gonna be prepared, and he's gonna survive any like even the house exploding. The most you'd see is like a slightly charged suit and him just like rolling out, getting ready to fight. And that being said, he's probably gonna get shot a few times. Not probably lethally because John doesn't like to kill when he doesn't have to. But he's gonna get shot in the chest, shoulder, probably leg, before he gets that shield up. And then John's gonna have some trouble. Well, when I say trouble, I mean John's not gonna be able to do shit to that shield with anything. I'm thinking that even if John empowered his weapon, like he was like, "Fuck this! I need to stop this fight right now," and he powered his rifle with all the ability of his dog tag buddies, and he hits that shield, it would probably just send Cap like skidding across the road, but it wouldn't penetrate the shield. Because I mean, the few times we see John doing it, it's effective, and I'm not going to joke. If he hit Cap with that, it would probably obliterate Cap, but I don't think it's the level of vibranium breaking exact per se, you know. But yeah, basically, John would have pretty much every advantage in the initial confrontation. Cap, he knows Cap is coming. He knows he's being watched, in a sense. He gets Cap's measure. He knows that what he's dealing with. He'd be off in the distance in the woods or at a separate home, empty, and start laying fire on the Captain America. And Cap would just be reeling from explosions, from gunshots, from being knocked aside, whatever. Cap gets up, finds cover, and the moment he finds cover, John is basically out of advantages going for like in terms of combat specifically, like offense. Because there's no, as good as John is at shooting, Cap is just fast without a shield. So Cap could just literally like make headway in John's direction. There's nothing John would do. John would have to retreat, and from there it's Captain America chasing him, and it becomes super long. What's this game? Tag. You start tagging, they start running through the woods. Captain America can't probably track John. Probably cannot reliably do so because once again, John does not leave any footprints. He's a literal magic Lightfoot. He's got that Elder Scrolls effect going on, and he's fast enough that he's just slightly on the edge. But Cap is just booking it. He's just that fast that, and John would know this too because he'd be like, oh fuck. He can sense that he's coming. He's losing, and he'd probably have to turn and actually fight Cap in that scenario. And 99 is stealth. He needed 100. He didn't have 100. It's a broken system, but Todd Howard said it works, so it works. What was I saying? Yes, so so eventually Cap's gonna catch up to John. It's like, could John? It just worked, yeah. Because could John booby trap the forest? Probably. He could probably do Rambo's, you know, stakes and stuff. But even if, well, first of all, I don't think any of those would actually work on Cap because Cap would just be too fast to react to them. And even if John has experience fighting like Gilliman, who would beat Captain America's ass because he's a fucking bullet timing fairy. And I'm sorry, fairy. I don't. When I say fairy, I'm not like using that like derogatory. I'm saying that he's a literal fae. He's a literal he's a literal fae. I want to make that clear. He's an actual like he actually like has magical. He's an elf. Stop. I'm realizing how many people don't have contact with. He's an actual fae creature with pointy ears and dust that's like Pixie does, and he can deflect bullets with his spears. And John's a decent fighter compared to Grill, and they the two of them often spar, and Grill has a high opinion of him, so John would be used to that kind of speed. But the difference, I'm sorry, Jim, just looking at your comment, just going in the cliff. No, no, I swear, I swear, I'm agender. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. Chat get there. No, no. I I believe in I believe in rights for everyone. Yeah, what was it saying? So yeah, I can reclaim stuff. No, no. I'm thinking I'm having technical issues. Uh, uh, okay. What is it? So I'm sorry. So Captain America catches up to John, and John's gonna be prepared for that because John's used to that kind of person. Right? Right. No, no. Okay, like how is Cap gonna get any kind of win condition out of this? Damn it, Bug! I swear. June. Okay. I realize now when I'm saying Bug and June Bug is also here. I'm gonna have to start saying Worfty. Damn it, Worfty. And how's Cap gonna get any? Okay, so I'm getting to that. So Cap, Bug too. Yeah. So Cap catches up to John, and from there it's probably gonna devolve into a quick gun flash fight slash knife and shield fight. And it's going to be rough for both of them because, for one thing, uh, Captain America is pummeling John. Like, John is fast, John is quick, John's going to get his ass beat like a broken stick. He's done. And, but he's like, John's still able to, like, fend off a lot of Cap's attacks, but he's going to be, like, rocked back and forth, slammed against trees. And he'll keep getting up every time. And Captain America, I can do this all day. One of them's gonna say it. One of them's gonna say it. So but he's knocking John down, and Captain America's gonna realize that John's not staying down. Like they're gonna do some fighting banter, like John's not really good at that, but Captain America does it all the time, so he'll probably just be like trying to talk to John about it and get him to surrender, and John's just like, "What? You can do this all day," and Captain America's like, "I'll see you after I bash the shield into you." But so they start fighting. John's pretty much nearly disarmed. Like he tries to do his empowering work on his knife to try to, and he does probably leaves a little scratch on the shield, which is shocks Captain America, but that's not going to be enough to like actually stop the pummeling from happening. The big issue is that Captain America, as superhuman as he is, does start slowing down as John picks up steam and starts like he gets like if John gets punched in the face with a fist like a cracked concrete and it cracked his skull, he's also like still going to fight and start stabbing at Cap's like side and try to gut him or stab him in the bicep or land like brutal kicks to his like thighs or crotch or something. He has a better chance of contesting John because of his superior comic book combat quips. John is not prepared for the Whedon talks. All right, he's not prepared for the MCU dialogue. And I don't think anyone can handle that. But yeah, so it's basically like it's kind of like a Rocky fight when you think about it. Captain America is in the place of Ivan Drago pummeling Rocky Balboa and John Stiles right now. Like just ding, 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 knocking all over. And the thing is that normally uh, this would be like the point where I'd say like, well, John wins the war of attrition. John like gets lucky. That's all he needs to do is get lucky and take out the Cap. And act possible. That's actually genuinely possible that Captain America makes a mistake as super soldier as he is. He actually genuinely gets tired, while John just is like the Terminator. And that's one possible idea is that Captain America messes up. John gets him in the hole, or stabs him like brutally somewhere that's not exactly fatal for Cap, but enough that it takes a lot of the fight out of Cap because John keeps stabbing different spots or hamstringing him literally. So that's possible. Is it likely? Uh, mm, I'd say no. I'd say generally that John would not be able to do it because I'm going by the assumption that was offered as that Captain America does have a lot of, as an aware person, he like in the sense that he probably like how we can blend him into the setting and make it make sense. Captain America probably has made a lot of advantage in like putting down John enough to count him as KIA. And what I mean is that one of the ways you can temporarily take out a dog, Cap is a aware person. Oh no, an aware person. Sorry. In the setting of Pale and Pack, there are people called aware who are not magicians. It's a fight happened during a full moon. No, that's not what I mean. There's people in the setting called well, I'm explaining to other people now. Aware people are people who are exposed to magic in some form, and sometimes it just means like they get extra paranoid, but sometimes it means that they gave magical abilities in the sense of like almost superpowers, depending on how it goes. It can range from like someone who sees faces in the walls to what would be a good example? Oh, I can curse you with a look and like ruin your life. That's kind of stuff. And like it can go into physical abilities too. There's an aware who was kidnapped by a pixie club, tortured and given the skills of like various wow, what do they call them? Adventurers and foresters and hunters and stuff. And he came back with like superhuman agility, superhuman skill and fighting, speed, all that stuff. So that's one example. So like Captain America would probably fall into that category by accident. But what I'm saying I was kind of a tangent. What I'm saying is that one of the ways you can put down a dog tag is by striking them in a symbolic area, which is sometimes the head or heart. Like what if John's when John was younger, one of the ways he was taken out of action for a long time was to symbolically shoot him in the head and heart, and then do it again and again until like it's treated as like the universe is like, okay, you're supposed to stay down, so you get nap time. In this case, if Captain America pummeling him with the shield, he'll probably like land a lot of chest headshots, and the universe is gonna be like, John, buddy, pal, we love you, but you gotta play by the rules. And if he's hitting with these like 3 ton, 3 tons of force forks on 3 tons of force lining that like curve of shield right there. Can you imagine that on the human chest? Oh, your heart's like mush. And John's strong. Like he's not gonna go down immediately. Like I'm not saying like, oh, he just gets one punched in the skull and in the chest. No, I'm saying that like because like John, like again, I said again, John had his spine crushed and then ripped in half, and he still kept fighting. No, what's gonna happen is that Captain America's gonna keep pummeling him so hard and like repetitively until the point that the spirit's like, okay, this is ridiculous. This fight's gonna have to end. Like he's like we got places to be, people to judge, and the spirits will probably like Captain America's probably gonna land a devastating hit to the skull and chest and send John flying, and John's gonna flatline. Like he's just gonna die, and the spirits are gonna be like, okay, OKO, you're done. Or TKO, technical knockout, you're done. You're gonna take a little nap. Captain America's gonna be like, oh fuck, I killed him. Oh shit. And he's probably bleeding from a dozen places too. He's got shrapnel in him. He's got stab wounds. He's got bullet wounds probably. He probably got a busted lip. He's done. He's tired. Like he didn't expect this. Like he didn't expect to be fighting a fucking zombie effectively. And he probably has no idea why John suddenly decided to die now of all times. I thought you were a stronger type moment. No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite because it's like in this case, John is literally shrugging off everything. So Captain America literally has no idea what happened. Like from his perspective, he's fighting an unstoppable zombie. Yes, okay, June's got it, but yeah, like from Captain America's perspective, he's fighting an unstoppable fucking John Wick zombie, and he's not going down. And all of a sudden, he does. It's fishy as fuck. Like, can you imagine that? Yes, June Bugga has it right. It's like how plenty of immortal other stuff, and you just got to reform it months later. And if he was a boogeyman, it would be the equivalent of sending John back. Yes, and in fact, John mentions this because John mentions that when he's blown up, like as in like to pieces, his spirit will just go through the ruins and material planes and reform somewhere else. So even if he dies, like in this body destroyed, he'll just reappear later. So from Captain America's perspective and the universe perspective, he just fucking was dealing with the zombie. The zombie suddenly died. Like it's like imagine if you were playing a video game and there's no health bars and you have no idea why the monster died. It's like yeah, Captain America looking around confused. That's right. That's right, Worthy. He'd be like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, huh? Hmm? Hmm? He's like, "Can you?" And he's calling in Shield in. And Shield's collecting the body. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do some experiments." It's kind of like, you fucking watch that body. There's something fucking wrong. You wouldn't swear. You'd be like, you know, we were going at it for like a good 30 minutes there, and he just suddenly fell over and no heartbeat. I'm not saying he's faking it, but you might want to put like a handcuff on him or no, you're just taking him. Oh, you're just taking him to ship. Okay. All right. They're going at it for 30 minutes. Phrasing. Phrasing. Thank you, Archer. But yeah, Captain America's just like stupefied because he's like, she would handcuff the corpses. Yes. Like armed guards on the corpses. So they load John up into the Quinjet or whatever, and these Captain America's all paranoid and probably getting like med first aid on him and like He'll probably like they land, and then when he like the Quinjet lands jerkily behind him, like because they take two separate ships. Like we're doing this, if we're doing this like right, Captain America is like in a different ship. John Fly's in a different ship. They land, and Captain America immediately notices the Quinjet's acting funky, and the Quinjet flies back to Kenneth. And then when they find the jet again, everyone on the ship has been taken out, held hostage, and like handcuffed to their seats, and the body's gone. And Captain America's just like, oh, I told them to handcuff the body. They should have known. They should have handcuffed that corpse. It's kind of like and from there, John goes back to Kenneth. She'll probably like, oh, I will blow up Kenneth or something. No, no, well, actually, she'll probably would do that, huh? They almost blew up fucking Manhattan. God, they would absolutely blow up Kenneth. They would actually do it too. No, but in that, well, let's be on this scenario. In this scenario, Captain America would eventually win. Like he'd have to work for it. He'd get his ass literally tossed through the air the first time, like they meet, assuming that John doesn't outright murder him with a sniper shot. But in character, John wouldn't do that. So it would be John fighting Steve, and it'd be like it wouldn't be one-sided beatdown. It would be very back and forth, but it slowly becomes Captain America taking out John until John's magic system is like, hey, you gotta take a nap and you gotta play by the rules. So I think that's how the scenario goes. What do you guys think? How does that sound to y'all? Does that sound like it sounds pretty okay? I know I'm not like the big YouTube power scaling community guys who does like woohoo's facts and citations because I'm just doing this from my iPad and there's nothing like fancy going on with it. But I think this was fun. It did suck at the second stream was taken out, but if I can figure out how to splice those two streams together as a Pale expert, it makes sense to me. Wordy, did you read Pale? I don't think you did. I feel like I would have seen a lot more fan art from you if you read Pale. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's already 4. Not one word of it. Yeah, I thought so. Trying to play me. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Huh? 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 You just lie to me on the internet? Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Can't even get bugged to finish pack. Oh, wow. Wow. I think Cap eventually wins, yeah, if John can be taken by attrition and loses. Oh, I mean, I feel like attrition is not the right word, but I get what you mean. Yes, it would. Attrition is not the issue. It's more like the setting itself is kind of against these long-term fights. They like them being very narratively quick and dirty, as it were. I'll finish packed. Oh, thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate it. I was gonna say like because I know that if Worf T read Pale, there'd be so much fan art, and like I'm already blessed with Ward fan art. Pale fan art would be flooding Tumblr. You read it. Excuse me. Still coughing. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm glad that what I said made sense. Yes, if Cap tries to win by pure attrition, he'll end up feeding John's essence and power. Exactly. Yes, because John is war, and the more war there is, the stronger he gets. But yeah, if Cap has strategy and learns well, and he strikes at the right moment. Wait, have you read Ward as a character? I have not read Ward. No, I've never even heard of it. The only Ward I know of is Grant Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, isn't this my Starlight avatar? Isn't that Tattletale's really cool? No, she's not. No, she's not. Tattletale is not cool. She's a nerd. She's a fossil. I'm just kidding. Yeah. So that's my thing. My verdict is that John could win, but it wouldn't be likely. Sorry, it wouldn't. It would require him to have a good stroke of luck and getting Cap as Cap is getting tired. Captain America is more likely to win because not because of attrition, but because he hits uh, John fatally in a symbolic way. I think getting the first win counts substantially. Yeah, so like if Captain America kills John first, and then it kind of snowballs from there. And I think John can win, especially if okay, to be clear, if John wanted Captain America dead, he would be dead. Like I don't want to get that. I want to get that squared away. Captain America would be have a hole in his head from John. Stop shipping the super soldiers. We are not shipping them. There can't. One's part Canadian, one's American. It could never happen. One's an entrepreneur model, one's America's ass. It's never gonna happen. And I think with that message here, we can end the stream. There's no love in this scenario. Thank you for joining me on my first Who Would Win chat. Americans can't kiss Canadians now. Have you name one time? Name one time it's happened. You can't. Never seen it. Mm-mm. We can all agree on something. Hey, I'm just speaking the truth. So this was Rid Tom. Thank you for joining my stream, and I'll be talking to a lot of you later. Bye. Water bottle.